Our social media accounts for All Things America Reports. The story with Martha, who's never boring, starts right now.
Thank you very much, you guys. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Martha McCallum. And of course, this continues to be the story. A reported second ransom deadline issued by Nancy Guthrie's potential abductors would be just 4 hours from right now. A very tight window, if indeed that is a real deadline. Now, TMZ reporting, quote, a Bitcoin account allegedly set up to accept funds in exchange for Nancy was still sitting empty this morning. Law enforcement activity at Nancy's home and her daughter Annie's home happening over the weekend, and Savannah and her family making another heartbreaking plea for their mother.
We received your message and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us, and we will pay.
Yeah, everybody just looking at that word for word, trying to discern the messages that are in this for these potential kidnappers. But there are so many big questions looming in this story. Former FBI Special Agent Jonathan Gilliam is going to join us in just a moment. He has some very interesting thoughts on what's at play here. And Fox is live on the ground in Tucson. Former prosecutor Joshua Ritter is standing by. But first, let's go to senior correspondent Alicia Acuna, who has been digging into this case very closely on the scene. Hi, Alicia.
Hi, Martha. Regarding that TMZ report that the Bitcoin address attached to the ransom note has not received funds, they write, quote, it is unclear how long it typically takes for accounts to update. But as of now, the confirmed balance in the publicly viewable account stands at zero with no transactions recorded. But remember, there was a second note that was sent, but only to one local TV station. That note has not been made public, and it is entirely possible the person who wrote it gave a new and different Bitcoin address. The Guthries say they will pay, and if and when that happens, it's not long before the recipient gets their money.
When you want to transfer Bitcoin around the world, it's going to take you anywhere from about 10 minutes to 1 hour, depending upon the amount and the speed in which you've asked for this to go, for it to get from one place to the next place. It's still an open-ended question about whether this is traceable or not. It can be at times, sometimes it's not.
Investigators had a very busy weekend. Sunday afternoon, our Fox flight team shot this video of two members of law enforcement in the back of Nancy Guthrie's home, probing what looked like a septic tank. They were there for about an hour. On Saturday night, our Fox digital team was at Annie Guthrie and her husband's home when authorities arrived. This happened around 8 o'clock in the evening. They went inside, and flashes of light, like what you get from a camera, could be seen coming from both the garage and another room in the house. And from what we understand, Martha, the family was not there at the time, but law enforcement was there for about 2.5 hours. Martha?
A lot of questions. All of that raises, Alicia, thank you very much. With that, we bring in Jonathan Gilliam, former FBI special agent, worked on criminal and counterterrorism squads, and also served as a Navy SEAL. Jonathan, it's good to have you with us. Thank you very much for
good to be with you,
joining us today. So, what stands out to you, at this point? We're just a few hours away. You hear this word that there's no money in this one account. One reference to U.S. dollars, making some people think this is a foreign actor, if indeed there is somebody, who is an abductor here. What do you make of all of it right now, Jonathan?
Well, I've been saying all week that we definitely have one crime that occurred. We know that Nancy Guthrie was kidnapped or was removed from that house, and that there was some violence that occurred there. We still don't know if, in this day and age, with AI and with the ability of people to scam people online, we still don't know if this ransom is real. Now, the FBI potentially or most likely knows more than we do in the local law enforcement. But I've said all along, AI, we look online and we see AI videos of things that just aren't real but look absolutely real. So it's hard to tell. We're in uncharted territory here when it comes to these types of crimes. These Bitcoin kidnappings happen all the time in other countries like Mexico or someplace like that, but they are overt with what they want, and they have open communication, and they show proof of life typically. The way this is going now is that we still don't know the reality of Nancy Guthrie and who these people are that are trying to extort these millions from Savannah Guthrie and her family. So it's a very perplexing place that we're in. But what would be very interesting, if the deposit goes through and the transaction goes through, this will be an amazing thing to watch the FBI and to see how they react globally and to see if they can track this.
Yes. You know, I think about other old kidnapping cases, and we're going to go into some detail on some of these in a moment, but where bags of money were exchanged. In one very high-profile case, they asked for $10 bills. In this case, you've got this request for USD, but you obviously would not want to release the money until you knew, you know, you wouldn't want to hit send on that money, on that Bitcoin, until you knew that you would have the release of this person. And it, you know, from what we know, and I hope there's more at work here, they don't have any of that kind of proof yet.
Right. We haven't been told, and not that we would be told, but we haven't seen any open lines of communication. We've seen these back and forth through letters or emails that go to news organizations and then social media posts by the Guthries. So it's just a very uncertain thing when you are at this point, because if this is some kind of a scam like you see with from India, you see those types of money scams. From Nigeria, you see a lot of scams from there. If that's what this is, then that $6 million is going to go away, and nobody will still know where Nancy Guthrie is. The other problem is, if it is real, we may still not know.
Yeah. There's a lot at play here. And going back to Alicia's reporting about the FBI going back to Annie Guthrie, the sister's home, and Alicia reported that it was understood that that no one was home at that residence, but that there were flashes going off, pictures being taken in the garage and other parts of the house. What does that tell you, Jonathan?
Well, it tells me that they're looking at particular things. I mean, they are now focusing. They went back to Nancy's house several times, and so they're either buttoning up things that they didn't actually look at earlier in the investigation, or they are acting on evidence or tips that they may have gotten. And so the fact that they're at those two places, I mean, you know, her daughter and her husband were the last two people to see her and to drop her off. So it's not unrealistic that law enforcement would go back there and that they would become a suspect of this. But for them to go back now and photograph things, they're going in with equipment that looks through cell phones and computers. It tells me that there are some investigators, most likely, that are keying in on them for one or more reasons.
Wow. All right. We will watch what happens over the next couple of hours. We're definitely in a new world with AI and, you know, Bitcoin and all of these very untransparent ways of communicating, everything being done on social media instead of phone calls. So we'll see, Jonathan, where this whole tragic situation goes. We hope it ends well. Jonathan Gilliam, thank you very much.
Martha, this is a very serious.
Oh, I wish I heard the last thing that he said there, but obviously this is a very serious situation. We're grateful to Jonathan Gilliam, former SEAL, former FBI special agent, joining us now, joining us moments ago. All right, so reports of a 24-hour FBI command post in Arizona as investigators hunt for suspects or persons of interest. They still say they have no suspect and no person of interest. Does that mean that that is the case? Or are they protecting some information that they have? All big questions here. Former federal prosecutor and Fox News contributor Joshua Ritter next.